In NCAA Division II, student-athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student-athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student-athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome inside Royal Broen Pavilion in Seattle, Washington. I'm Greg Sexton. You're watching the SPU webcast, and tonight the Falcons welcome in the St. Martin Saints from just about an hour south of here in Lacey, Washington, as a good in-state rivalry coming up here. The men's basketball team for SPU will take the court at 7:30 against another in-state rival. They'll be playing Western Washington in the nightcap of this doubleheader. But let's take a look at this first one here. Neither of these teams is off to a great start in the Great Northwest Athletic Conference. The Falcons are 0-3, and the Saints are 1-3. The Falcons so far have played Simon Fraser, Western Washington, and Montana State Billings. St. Martin's has also played both Western Washington and Simon Fraser, and they played the Alaska schools, Alaska Anchorage and Montana State Billings, sitting on top of the GNAC entering tonight's action, both undefeated in conference play and really good overall records as well. St. Martin's coming in with an 8-4 record though, so they are actually off to a pretty good start, other than their 1-3 record in the conference. Falcons are 6-10 overall, and let's get into a couple of young coaches here. Natalie Marlowe for the Saints in her second year. Karen Byers, an interim head coach for SPU. We'll see if she gets the interim tag removed. The Falcons really kind of picked up some steam in December. They won 4 in a row before getting a big dose of the Montana State Billings Yellow Jackets last Saturday. They lost by 40 out in Billings. St. Martin's will actually be there this coming Saturday, so we'll see how that one goes. But the teams will get you the starting lineups here as we are ready for play. Skylar Berry is in the circle against Sarah Lamette. And here is the opening tip, and Berry taps it forward to Lane Kearns, and she gets it to Grace Leisure, and the Falcons had to have drawn that up that way to be able to get that bucket right off the bat as they take the lead 2-0, as it was Berry tapping it forward to Kearns, who found Leisure streaking to the basket, and the Falcons up 2-0 very quickly. As the Saints now with their first possession, there's Lamette, and now Kiana Rios, their leading scorer, will hand off, and Brown loses it. Kearns with the steal. Lane Kearns back the other way. And she's going to go over in the corner to Lolo Weatherspoon. Plenty of time to set her feet, and she gets it stuck between the rim and the backboard. So plenty of time to get her feet set there, but that rarity, the ball ends up stuck between the rim and the glass, and it'll be possession to the Saints. As the Saints with Madeline Brown, a junior out of Auburn, Washington. Jada Travis, a freshman out of Tacoma, Washington. Sarah Lamette, a junior out of Tigard, Oregon. Kiana Rios, a junior out of Warden, Washington. And Avery Oster, a sophomore out of Golden, Colorado. So no seniors in the starting lineup for the Saints. But they have gotten off to a good start here in this season now. As I mentioned, 8-4 overall. As shot goes up from Travis, and she knocks it down, a 3 from the top of the key. And Jada Travis, a freshman, and I really haven't gotten to see a lot of the other teams in the GNAC yet this year, but Jada Travis has got to be in the running for sure, and most likely, or I shouldn't say most likely, because again, I haven't seen a lot of the other freshmen in the league, but Jada Travis definitely putting up GNAC Freshman of the Year numbers to this point. Just 5'5", and she leads the team in rebounding with over 7 a game, and she averages 13 points as well. There's Lamette, and they're going to call her for a travel as she falls to the floor. Did not keep the pivot foot, or either foot rather, on the floor, and so the Falcons will bring it back, trailing 3-2. And Lola Weatherspoon will hand off to Hunter Beeren. The Falcons with a starting lineup featuring Grace Leisure, a sophomore out of Portland, Oregon. Lola Weatherspoon, a senior from Camas, Washington, as here's Skylar Berry, also from Portland, Oregon, and she misses on the shot, but draws the foul. Berry out of Portland, Oregon, a senior, as I mentioned. Hunter Beeren, a fifth-year player from Mukilteo, Washington, and Lane Kearns, a sophomore out of Hamilton, Montana. Kearns leading the Falcons in scoring and rebounding. Skylar Berry, though, getting to the free throw line here, and Berry puts in the first free throw. Skylar Berry on the season, coming into this one, 20 out of 30 at the stripe, 67%. Gets the first one, and she will get another opportunity with the score now tied at 3. And that one is off the back iron, no good. And the Saints with the rebound. 3-all here in the early going. And Jada Travis with the ball out on the left wing. Gets it up top to Madeline Brown. Back to Travis, and she puts in a 3. And Travis has already knocked in a couple of threes here for the Saints in the early going. First 2.5 minutes of this one. And Jada Travis with 6 points already. Here is Hunter Beeren. Brings it out to Lane Kearns. Amelia Bishop getting ready to check in for the Falcons. Here's Weatherspoon going back to her right. And she walked to the basketball, took too many steps there, trying to get around Kiana Rios. And Rios stayed with her on defense. Bishop coming in for Skylar Berry for the Falcons. Amelia Bishop out of Wilsonville, Oregon. A lot of Portland area natives on the Falcons roster. As this one, long pass down the court to Avery Oster. And she puts that one in, and the Saints up 8-3. Here's Hunter Beeren driving off with the offhand there. Puts it in off the glass. Hunter Beeren with the floater. And kind of a longer lay-in, I might call that one. Lamette gets fouled by Bishop. And Lamette will head to the... I'm sorry, she will not. It's a non-shooting foul. Bishop gets called for her first foul, though. Lamette at 6'4", and this one is good, as that is Oster again, and it's 10-5 with the Saints on top. As Lamette at 6'4", Bishop at 6'3", so the Falcons wanted to get Bishop in there to go up against Lamette. Here's Beeren with another floater, and that one comes up short, and the Saints with the rebound. Back the other way, leading by 5, and fumbled away there by Rios. And Beeren picks it, or actually I think it was Beeren that ended up throwing it out of bounds for the Falcons. So Falcons, a little sloppy here to begin this one. They will get Grace Mertis and Grace Turley on the floor. Grace Leisure comes off the Falcons with 3 graces. And Weatherspoon also coming off. As for the Saints now, Keely Jade Smith is in the game. Here's Travis with it. And now over to Kiana Rios. Kiana Rios has her sister Jalen also on the team. There's a 3 on the way from Smith, and it's off the iron, and a held ball called here. Falcons will take possession with 5:32 to play here in the first quarter. And the Saints on top 10-5. Saints trying to pick up their second conference win, and the Falcons still looking for their first. Falcons, as I mentioned, lost to Montana State Billings last Saturday. That was their first game of 2025, and the Falcons are kind of throwing the ball all over the court tonight so far, as they have thrown at least 2 or 3 out of bounds. A little miscommunication on their part, and we'll see if they can settle in and get things moving the way they want. This one, Oster dribbles it off her foot, is able to pick it back up, turns around, puts up the shot, can't get it to go, and we get a whistle on the rebound. And it's going to go on the Falcons. It's going to go on Lane Kearns. That'll take us to the under 5 timeout here in the first quarter. Saints lead it 10-5. We'll be back in just a moment on the SPU webcast. Welcome back inside Royal Broome Pavilion. Greg Sexton with you on the SPU webcast. Falcons trail it by 5 as Jada Travis has been involved in every basket, either with an assist, with scoring the basket or with assisting on it. As she's got 6 points and 2 assists. She sends this one into Oster, and now Haley Ota off the bench pokes it away, but Kiana Rios is there to control it. Rios now gets it back from Travis, and that one rims out. Rebound to Lamette with the long arms, but Turley rips it away. And Grace Turley back the other way for SPU. They trail by 5. Not a lot of scoring going on. And both teams have turned it over 3 times. Falcons almost did there, but they're able to maintain control of it. Here's Grace Mertiz, and she walked with the basketball. And that's the 4th turnover by the Falcons. They've thrown it out of bounds a couple of times, and they have been called for traveling a couple of times as well. As Madeline Brown comes back in for SMU, and Hunter Beeren back in for SPU. Jada Travis across midcourt being guarded by Haley Ota. And now gets it to Keely Jade Smith. Keely Jade Smith, a graduate student out of Hilo, Hawaii. This is Travis in the post for Kiana Rios, and she takes it to the bucket and can't get it to go. Good defense there by Mertiz. And the Falcons back the other way with it. Here's Mertiz taking a 3, and that one off the back iron, no good. And some contact there. Kearns, I believe, is going to get called for a foul here, and it is going to go on Lane Kearns. That's her 2nd. Grace Turley had checked out. She checks right back in for Kearns. As I want to see Kearns out there with 2 fouls already in the first quarter, at risk of picking up a 3rd one. So Kearns will get a breather. And the Saints with a 3 from the top of the key from Sarah Lamette off the mark, but they get the rebound. Smith misses on the shot, and Ota pulls down the rebound for SPU. Haley Ota out of Honolulu, Hawaii. And Bishop lost it. And I think that they said that she stepped out. She was trying to save it in off of Jada Travis. But I think they said Bishop stepped on the end line. But it's the Saints ball. Travis across midcourt, hands off to Brown. And now Rios with it. And Rios has it taken away. And not a real cleanly played game. Both teams committing a few turnovers here. Turley will step back and put up the shot, no good. Bishop gets in there and draws the foul. And the foul, that one's going to go on Keely Jade Smith. I was looking at the wrong official there and misinterpreting what I was seeing. As coming in now for the Saints, Casey Booster, freshman out of Bend, Oregon. And for the Falcons, Lola Weatherspoon returns. Bishop knocks down the first free throw. Amelia Bishop coming into this game, 77% from the free throw line. Gets 1 out of 2 here, and there's a loose ball on the floor, and it'll be a held ball. With 2:45 to play here in the first quarter. Skylar Berry will come back in for Amelia Bishop. Saints will take it back on the held ball. And they will wipe up the floor here. There were a few players down near the free throw line. Jada Travis will bring it across midcourt with the Saints leading by 4. Just over 2:30 to play here in the first quarter. Here's Lamette being guarded by Berry and throws it over the top of Travis. Travis thought, and I think she thought correctly, that the Falcons tipped it out. As I'm kind of on the other end of the court and didn't see it get tipped. But Travis was correct about that one being tipped out by the Falcons. They don't reset the shot clock. 5 on the shot clock now as Travis drives, kicks it in the corner. Smith gets it to Brown, and now Brown with the extra pass. It gets away from Booster out of bounds, but that was going to be a shot clock violation anyway. As Saints turn it over. And coming back in now, Avery Oster checking in for Sarah Lamette. And the Falcons with possession. Low-scoring first quarter. 10-6, Saints with the lead and just over 2 minutes to play in the quarter. Here's Berry driving and couldn't get the shot to go. Fighting for the rebound and can't get to it as Oster takes it away from Berry. And now Oster back the other way. And Oster throws it almost out of bounds, but Travis is able to save it in. Jada Travis goes behind her back, kicks it in the corner to Smith. Smith will come out on top, get it to Madeline Brown. Brown driving down the left side of the lane. Couldn't get the shot to go. Skylar Berry with the rebound. And here come the Falcons with 1:30 to play in the first quarter. Buren, a nice move between two defenders there, but couldn't get the shot to go. And the Saints the other way. Madeline Brown with it. Gets it to Travis. Travis drives, turns around, puts it up over Weatherspoon, puts it in. Jada Travis with 8 points now here in the first quarter for St. Martin's. And still, every basket that the Saints have had, either Travis has scored it or Travis has gotten an assist on it. Here's Ota for a 3, and that one rims in. And Haley Ota from the corner puts the Falcons within 3 with under a minute to play here in the first quarter. 12-9, Saints with the lead. Travis being guarded by Ota, gets a screen, and Ota now switches on to Smith. And Keely Jade Smith puts it up over Ota, and can't get the shot to go, but the rebound available there for Booster. And the Saints maintain possession. Booster to Travis. And now Travis gets it back, trying to go around Weatherspoon, and Weatherspoon with the size advantage, the height advantage, I should say, there, as she's able to block the shot. Now coming back the other way. Weatherspoon with a nice move to the bucket and couldn't get it to go. And it is going to stay with SPU here with 3.2 left on the clock in the first quarter. Subs in for both teams. Kiana Rios and Sarah Lamette back in. And for the Falcons, Grace Leisure back onto the floor for the final 3.2 of the first quarter. Falcons down 3. And they need to get a shot up. Maybe time for a pass and a dribble or two. And Skylar Berry, she's going to run out of time. She puts up a 3 and hit the glass. But does not go down. Not a real cleanly played first quarter. The Saints with the lead, 12-9 after 1 quarter of play. We'll step aside on the SPU webcast. We'll be back in just a moment.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Back inside Royal Broome Pavilion, Greg Sexton with you on the SPU webcast. St. Martin's with the lead over Seattle Pacific, 12-9 after 1 quarter of play. And as I mentioned, not the most cleanly played first quarter. Each team turned it over 5 times in that first quarter. The Saints out-rebound the Falcons 10-7, and the Saints out-shoot the Falcons 33% to 25%. 5 out of 15 for the Saints, 3 out of 12 for the Falcons. As Weatherspoon with possession now for SPU. And here's Grace Leisure, and she has it knocked away by Lamette. And the Saints back the other way, Kiana Rios. And now she will get it to Maya Hatchett, who's on the floor for the first time. The Saints turn it over, and the Falcons back the other way. Here's Weatherspoon. Jada Travis getting a break here at the beginning of the second quarter. She played the entire first quarter, and she was the best player on the floor for both teams. As Skylar Berry gets the bucket and puts one in and gets the Falcons to within a point. Hatchett will get it to Brown. And now Rios with it. Gets it back to Maya Hatchett. Weatherspoon on her. Pass down into the post for Rios. Goes around Beeren. Couldn't get it to go. And here is Beeren now coming the other way. And a good move there by Beeren. She couldn't get the shot to go, though. As Natalie Marlowe asking for a travel call. And she might have a valid beef there. But Beeren with kind of the Euro step. Jada Travis got the first minute and 15 of the quarter on the bench, but now she's back in there for St. Martin's. As she had 8 points and 2 assists in that first quarter. And now we'll find Hatchett reversing it up and couldn't get it to go. And Beeren pulls the rebound out of there for the Falcons. 12-11, gets it down the floor to Leisure. Leisure whips it back out to Haley Ota, and the Falcons set up a possession. Berry in the high post, turns around, goes around Lamette, gets to the bucket, couldn't get the shot to go. And the Saints back the other way as Travis finds Rios going down the floor, and she lays it up and in. And another assist for Jada Travis. And again, I believe she has either scored or assisted on every bucket for the Saints to this point. Here is Beeren taking the pass back from Ota, and Beeren gets to the bucket and lays it up and in. As Hunter Beeren now with 4 points in the ball game. Madison Rubino and Lane Kearns getting ready to check in. We get a foul called against Kiana Rios, as they said that she made some contact there. She commits the offensive foul. As Avery Oster will check back in. Oster had a pretty good first quarter for the Saints as well. And the Falcons get Madison Rubino on the floor for the first time tonight. She's a junior from Snohomish, Washington, who's already played at a couple of other schools, Idaho and Cal Poly Humboldt. But she returns to her home area. I think they're gonna call Rubino for a moving screen there. They do. And so the Saints will take it back, leading by a point, 14-13. Rubino has missed some games due to injury, as the Falcons' last game at Billings, as Madeline Brown gets to the bucket and lays it up and in. And that is her first two of the game. 16-13 your score. Falcons were without Rubino, without Bishop, and without Weatherspoon at Montana State Billings. Julia Levine had 16 points in that game, a career high for her, as we're going to get a foul here on Grace Leisure, trying to get the ball back after she lost it. And the Saints will take it. First foul on Leisure. And we're going to get a timeout called here with 6:42 to go in the second quarter. Saints lead by 3, 16-13. One of these teams is going to get it going on the offensive end, but so far neither one has really been able to get into much of a flow. Good defensive battle, as we'll step aside here on the SPU webcast. We'll be right back. Back inside Royal Brown Pavilion in Seattle, Greg Sexton with you on the SB webcast. 16-13, the Saints lead the Falcons. And both teams have turned it over 7 times already in this one. Jada Travis will bring it across midcourt and get it to Kiana Rios. Rios had 30 in a game earlier this year and averages over 14 a game. This one thrown away as Rubino got a hand on it and Buren picks it off. And here come the Falcons the other way. Here is Lane Kearns pulling up with the floater in the lane. And Kearns gets on the board. And now Kearns picks that one off as they were trying to get it to Madeline Brown. And Kearns is able to control it in the front court. Here's Buren to Leisure. Leisure gets the screen, pulls up from about 15 feet out, maybe 18. Couldn't get the shot to go. And the Saints back the other way. Here's a three on the way from Rios, and that one rims out, but Oster is right there for the rebound. Avery Oster puts it back up and in. And the Saints lead by 3 again. 18-15. Here's Buren. Over in the corner for Leisure, and Grace Leisure knocks one down from the corner. And we're tied at 18. No, they're going to say that was a 2. It was she had her foot on the line, and so just a 2-pointer. Here is Lamette on the assist from Travis again. And Travis has been very involved. There was a bucket a couple of minutes ago by Madeline Brown where Travis did not have an assist. Here's Rubino turning around, putting it up. Couldn't get the shot to go, and Weatherspoon's able to get in there for the offensive rebound. Kick it out to Kearns for a corner 3. And this time it's out of bounds as Rubino went after it again. Couldn't track it down though. as Maya Hatchett will check back in. Maya Hatchett out of Kennewick, Washington, by way of Pasco High School. I'm from that neck of the woods. As here is Maya Travis across, or Jada Travis rather, across midcourt. And Maya Hatchett now with it. Will get it in the paint for Rios, and she misses on that one. Kiana Rios has been kind of boom or bust. A lot of games where she's got a bunch of points, and she's got some games where she's not done a whole lot. Here is Kearns getting one up there, and it's off the back iron, and the Saints back the other way. 20-17 with just a little over 4 minutes to go in the first half here. And here is Oster getting around Leisure. Nice move there in the post by Avery Oster. And the Saints lead it by 5. Oster with 8 points. Here's Buren. Gets it to Weatherspoon. She'll kick it out to Rubino, and it's knocked out of bounds by Travis. And the Falcons will keep it with 3:52 to play here in the second quarter. And Hunter Buren will inbound. Buren now being guarded by Hatchett. Gets a screen from Leisure, and Hatchett follows her. Here's Leisure, though, with a 3, and that one off the iron. No good. Rebound to Rubino. She couldn't get it to go. Leisure gets in there, gets the rebound. And the Falcons maintain possession. Leisure with the long arms as Buren misses. And the Falcons just can't buy a bucket. Here's Hatchett the other way. Crashes into Weatherspoon. No call on that one. And the Saints, though, able to maintain possession. Thought for sure we were going to get a foul called there. But they play on. 10 on the shot clock. And here's Rios driving and puts it up and in as she gets around Rubino. And the Saints lead it by 7. Falcons need to hit some shots here, as this one still well within reach at just 7 points. But the Falcons have really struggled offensively. Here's Weatherspoon, and nice looking shot there for Lolo as she hits the turnaround jumper from the baseline. And Weatherspoon now gets the Falcons back to within 5 at 24-19. And Rubino had that one, wasn't able to come up with it though, and the Saints keep possession. Travis pulls up for a baseline 10-footer. And the Saints back up by 7 now, 26-19. Jada Travis with 10 points in the ballgame. Leisure in the post for Weatherspoon. Weatherspoon being double teamed, and Oster takes it away. And the Saints back the other way. Brown going around, draws the foul, hits the shot, and Madeline Brown with the and one. As foul committed by Grace Leisure, and that'll be her second. Ota and Barry will check back in. And Madeline Brown to the free throw line. So Madeline Brown on the season, just a 41% free throw shooter. So not her strong suit, but she got that one. And she will now check out as Casey Booster checks back in for the Saints. It's a 10-point lead for St. Martin's, 29-19. And the Falcons trying to make a run here over the last couple of minutes of the first half. Leisure from just inside the free throw line, couldn't get it to go, gets her own rebound, gets knocked down, and does not draw a call. And the call actually is traveling against Grace Leisure. I believe that's what they called. Either that or they called her for going out of bounds, but I think she stayed in bounds and didn't keep her feet. So, the Saints back the other way. Hatchett Weatherspoon switches onto her, and now Ota commits the foul on Kiana Rios. With 1:27 to play here in the second quarter. Ota commits her first foul. That's the 4th team foul on the Falcons, so the next one will put the Saints in the bonus. Saints have only committed 1 foul here in the second quarter. Here's Rios driving on Barry, puts the floater up over Leisure and puts it off the glass and in. And Kiana Rios now with 6 points in the game for the Saints. 31-19. They lead by 12. Falcons trying to get it back within single digits going into the break. Leisure tried to get it to Barry, and Oster is there to take it away. Get hands off to Hatchett. Hatchett driving back the other way, and she hands it off to Keely Jade Smith for the lay-in. And the Falcons trail it by 14 with 47.7 left on the clock here in the second quarter. And Karen Byers takes a timeout. We will keep it here. This will be a 30-second timeout. Saints have gone on a run here as it's been a 9-0 run. They were up 24-19. But it's been a little longer run than that as 9-0 and 17-4 over the last few minutes as the Saints have the Falcons were within 1. Now they are down 14 with 47.7 to go here in the second quarter. Saints have started hitting some shots. They are now shooting 52%. Falcons just 29%. Here's Ota across midcourt. And she'll find Grace Turley, and Turley blocked as she tried to get it to the bucket. And it's knocked out of bounds. And the Saints bench likes the effort on defense there. Falcons will keep possession. 21 on the shot clock. And we get another whistle here. And a foul called. No? Yeah, they did actually get a foul there. Here's Weatherspoon, and it's knocked away by Oster. And the Saints force another turnover. They lead by 14. And they can kill most of the rest of the second quarter here, as there's about a 3-second differential between shot and game clock. Here's Hatchett driving and couldn't get the shot to go. Turley the rebound. And here come the Falcons. Shot clock is off. Turley down to one knee is able to get the pass off to Lane Kearns. 7 seconds to play here in the half. Kearns driving on Oster. Over in the corner. And now Ota is going to force one up at the buzzer. And that one hit the net. It hit the front of the net, though. It did not go through the bucket. And so the Falcons go in to the locker room down by 14 as the Saints, it was a fairly close game for a while. The Saints kind of really started to get things going, and the Falcons still have been struggling on the offensive end throughout the first half as they trail by 14. 33-19. We will step aside on the SPU webcast for about 9.5 minutes or so. And we will be back shortly to, or not shortly, but in about 9.5 minutes or so, to recap the first half and take a look around the GNAC, get you set for the second half of action coming up here. 33-19.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Welcome back inside Royal Grove Pavilion. Greg Sexton with you on the SPU webcast. Falcons catch a little bit of a break there as they changed a ruling on a Grace Leisure. They ruled it a 2 initially, and they changed it to a 3. She was over in the corner on the left side, and she did have both of her feet behind the line. So Falcons pick up another point, still down 13, 33-20. As the Saints got it going there in the second quarter. The first quarter, neither team really did a whole lot other than Jada Travis really in the first quarter either scored or assisted on every bucket in that first quarter. Saints put up 21 in the second quarter, and they lead again by 13 here at the half. Both teams turned it over plenty of times. The Falcons turned it over 11 times and the Saints 9 times. So kind of a good defensive battle, a little sloppy on the offensive end. As I mentioned, though, the Saints were really able to kind of get into a rhythm in that second quarter. And the Falcons still looking to get into some type of rhythm, as the Saints shoot 50% in the first half and the Falcons just 27%. Neither team really did much beyond the arc. Each team hit 2 threes. Jada Travis with 2 threes in the first couple of minutes of the game, and then the Saints did not hit from downtown again in the first half. Jada Travis finished with 10 points in that first half, and Falcons 2 out of 8 from downtown. Neither team did much at the free throw line. The Saints just 1 out of 1, and the Falcons 2 out of 4. so neither team really got to the stripe much. Saints out-rebounded the Falcons 18-16. And really, it was just they were able to hit several more shots than the Falcons. Both teams, as I mentioned, playing some defense. The Saints forcing 11 Falcons turnovers, and the Saints actually turned it over 9 times in that first half. Jada Travis with 10 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, turned it over just once. For the Saints, also Avery Oster with 8 points, 4 rebounds. She had 2 steals and a blocked shot. And Kiana Rios had 6 points, 2 rebounds, and an assist. Sarah Lamette had 2 points, but she also had 2 rebounds, 2 blocks, and a steal for the Saints in the first half. Falcons, their leading scorer was Grace Leisure with 5 points. She had 3 rebounds and an assist, but she turned it over 3 times. Hunter Buren with 4 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and 2 turnovers. And the Falcons didn't get more than 3 from anybody else, as Mertice Rubino and Grace Mertice, Madison Rubino and Grace Turley, none of them got on the scoreboard. And we haven't seen Julia Levine in this game. She went for 16 at Montana State Billings on Saturday. Of course, the Falcons were shorthanded in that game, but Levine had a good game, and she was named a Falcon of the Week. But we haven't seen her on the court yet tonight, so hopefully we'll see her back out there, in the second half. Tonight, Western Oregon loses at Montana State Billings. Looking around the GNAC, Billings goes to 4-0 in conference. Western Oregon drops to 2-3, and that was a low-scoring game. The final, Billings held Western Oregon under 40 points, 53-36. The final in that one. Central Washington will be at Simon Fraser at 7 o'clock in Burnaby, British Columbia, and Northwest Nazarene will be at Western Washington in Bellingham. That also a 7 o'clock tip-off. The Alaska schools have tonight off, but they'll play each other in Fairbanks on Saturday afternoon. Everyone in the GNAC will be in action on Saturday. Northwest Nazarene will be north of the border. St. Martin's will be at Montana State Billings. I mentioned Anchorage will be at Fairbanks. Western Oregon will be here, and Central Washington will be at Western Washington on Saturday. Getting ready to get the second half underway here. Falcons, this game's not out of reach, but they really need to settle in, have some good offensive possessions, get some good shots, and stop turning the ball over if they're going to have a shot to come back in this one. Still 20 minutes to go, and the Saints have gotten the better of the Falcons to this point. Saints trying to go to 2-3 in conference play, and the Falcons trying to pick up their first conference win. They're 0-3. Saints will start the third quarter with possession, and they have their original starting 5 out there, as do the Falcons, and that's what you typically see unless somebody's in some serious foul trouble or is injured, or the coach just decides to go with a different matchup. Here's a turnover of no, it ends up being a held ball. Thought Lane Kearns was going to pull that one out of there, but was not able to do so. Avery Oster fighting for that loose ball, and she comes up a little gimpy. But it'll be Falcons basketball on the alternating possession, and we already have a substitution. Oster comes to the bench. She's grimacing in some pain, and Keely Jade Smith will get in the game here, less than 30 seconds into the third quarter. Falcons with their first possession of quarter number 3. As here's Lane Kearns being guarded by Smith. Weatherspoon gets it in the post to Barry, hands it back to Weatherspoon, and Smith knocks it out of bounds. Weatherspoon was trying to get it in the corner to Kearns. 8 on the shot clock. And the Falcons will have time to inbound and do something with it here. As Buren gets it into Leisure. 5 on the shot clock. Leisure thought about it. Gets it to Buren instead. Now the Falcons running out of time. Leisure turns around, puts it up and in. As that was all Leisure and Buren on that possession after the inbounds pass there. They just passed it back and forth, and Leisure ends up putting in the shot. She's got 7 in the game. And the Falcons, with the turnover on the other end, trying to get it back down to a single-digit margin. Here's Leisure taking a 3 from the corner, and that one is in. And again, they're calling it a 2. And I think that they got the call right on that one. It did look like her foot was on the line. I did have a decent look at where her foot was on that one. But Leisure, another long jumper. And the Falcons are within single digits. There is Kiana Rios hitting a 3, though, and now the Falcons are down by 12, 36-24, as Kiana Rios now with 9 points. Falcons really didn't let her get going too much in the first half, but she is certainly capable of lighting it up. Kearns misses, and Rios comes down with a rebound. Rios went for 30 in a game earlier. She's had 5 games with 20 points or more. Here is a 3 from Smith. Keely Jade Smith knocks down the 3. And the Saints with a couple of threes here in the second half, up by 15 now. Falcons were down by 9. And just like that, it's a 15-point margin. Here is Buren. And she had it poked away, lost it out of bounds, was looking for a foul call. Didn't get it, but the Saints did deflect it out. Haley Ota will check in for SPU. And here's Buren getting into Skylar Berry. Ota will get it back to Buren. And now Leisure being guarded by Rios. Leisure throws it away. And she thought she had Weatherspoon in the corner. Weatherspoon was cutting toward the basket. Amelia Bishop will come in for Skylar Berry. And the Saints with a 15-point lead and the ball here. As the leading scorers for the Saints, Kiana Rios and Jada Travis. Travis has 10, and Rios now with 9. Avery Oster is not on the floor at the moment, but she's got 8. As Rios gets to the bucket and lays that one up and in, and Rios now in double figures with 11. And the Saints up by 17. Here's Ota to Buren. Buren going around Smith. Gets it to Weatherspoon, and Weatherspoon charges into Rios and draws the blocking foul on Kiana Rios. So Weatherspoon will get to the free throw line. That was one of those block charge calls. She may have been in the restricted area if we have the benefit of replay. But Rios may have been moving her feet a little bit there too. So Weatherspoon will get to the free throw line. And she misses on the first one. Weatherspoon, a 57% free throw shooter coming into the game. And she will get another crack at it here. And knocks that one down. That'll make it a 16-point game. A lot of the Falcons from the Oregon side of the border, as Weatherspoon from Camas, Washington, on the Washington side. But the Falcons do have a few players from the state of Oregon. This one to Oster, and she misses. The rebound tapped out to Smith, but we're going to get a whistle and a foul. And Falcons may have caught a little bit of a break there. They get Madeline Brown for a foul. And so the Falcons will take it back. The Saints were looking like they were going to convert once they got that offensive rebound. Here's Julia Levine getting up off the bench as Buren comes up short on the lay-in. And the Saints will pull the rebound down and come back the other way with a 16-point lead. Brown gets it to Smith. She'll pull up from inside the arc, and Keely Jade Smith puts it in. She's got 7 points, and the Saints up by 18. Buren to Leisure, and now Bishop in the post backing down Oster. Bishop puts it up and in. Bishop with a good post move there and was able to get it as she was able to get it up and in on the turnaround, and then Weatherspoon steals the pass there and has an easy lay-in, and the Falcons down by 14. Now they almost forced another turnover there, but it's a foul called on Amelia Bishop. She did get a little too much body contact. Falcons will bring in Julia Levine for the first time. And Maya Hatchett for the Saints along with Casey Booster. Saints leading by 14. As the Falcons had a quick 4-point burst there. And if the Falcons can play some defense and start hitting some shots, they're not done yet. Still half of the third quarter to go. As this is Oster, and she misses off the glass. And the Falcons the other way. Buren throws up a wild shot, couldn't get it to go. And it's last touched by the Saints. Avery Oster thought that one went right between her legs and was last touched by SPU, but they call it the other way. The Falcons will keep possession. 4:37 to play, third quarter. Saints by 14, 43-29. And we'll step aside here on the SPU webcast. We'll be back in just a moment. Back inside Royal Brown Pavilion in Seattle, Greg Sexton with you on the SPU webcast. Saints with a 14-point lead. They've led by as many as 18. And the Falcons were able to get it back down to 14. They have possession now as Levine stays out there, as does Bishop. Buren, Leisure, and Ota on the floor for the Falcons. And Ota will get it to Bishop, who will hand off to Buren for a three. And that one rims out. Falcons have only hit 2 threes in this game. Saints have only hit 4, but a couple of them here in the third quarter. As this is Rios. Gets it to Hatchett. And now Booster. Back to Hatchett on top. Booster's going to take a three from the right wing, and that one goes down all net. And Casey Booster, puts the Saints back up by 17. Here is Leisure driving, and she has it knocked away, and she will get to the free throw line with 4 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Hatchett whistled for the foul, and that is just her first. Leisure gets to the stripe, and she's got 9 points in the ballgame, leading the Falcons in scoring. They only have 29 on the board with 4 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Leisure, though, gets into double figures with that free throw. As Grace Leisure, 80% at the free throw line, and knocks down 2 here. So it's a 15-point game. And the Saints with possession. Looking to keep the Falcons at arm's length. Here's Rios. Getting it out to Booster. And now they bring it back out to Hatchett. Over to Booster for a three, and that one goes down. As Casey Booster, the freshman out of Bend, Oregon, with threes, a couple of threes here. I don't believe it was on back-to-back possessions, but it was close. As the Saints now lead by 18 again, their largest lead. Amelia Bishop with a turnaround off the back iron. And a loose ball foul called here. And that one is going to go on Levine for the Falcons. So the Saints will get it back. Madison Rubino will check in now for Amelia Bishop. And the Saints will have it up by 18. And this one getting away from the Falcons here. Rios down the floor for Oster. Now Rios in the post for Lamette, and Lamette turns around, couldn't get the shot to go. Oster taps it back to her. Now Lamette back to Oster, and she puts it up and in. And now Oster with 10 points, and the Saints lead it by 20. Lamette steals it from Leisure on the other end. And here come the Saints again, and Levine going to get called for her second foul as she bumps into Rios. 2:38 to play here in the third. And Eternity Reed in for the Saints for the first time. Lane Kearns comes back in to get Grace Leisure for the Falcons. Eternity Reed, a senior out of Santa Monica, California. As the big story nationally is there's a block shot by Levine. And Levine still out there. Well, Levine hasn't been on the floor that much, but getting the block shot there and now getting the offensive rebound, and she throws up a wild shot but draws the foul, and she'll get to the free throw line. But, of course, the national story, the fires in the L.A. area, the Saints with Reed from Santa Monica, and the Falcons with Levine from Yorba Linda, which I don't know if that is in the area that is really being affected. But Levine gets to the free throw line, puts in the first free throw, and she has her first point of this game. She's 53% at the free throw line this year. Knocks in both here. And it is 51-33. Falcons trying to hang on here and stay in this one. Saints plenty of breathing room as Smith pulls up and misses off the rim. And the Falcons back the other way. Here's Buren. Gets it out to Ota. She's got time to take a three, and she puts it in. Haley Ota gets the Falcons back to within 15 with 1:40 to play here in the third quarter. It's a pretty tall task for the Falcons at this point, though. They would have to make a pretty extended run. Cut it down from 20 to 15. Here's Keely Jade Smith pulling up, putting it in off the glass. And Smith using the glass to her advantage there, putting the Saints back up by 17. Here is Kearns for Rubino. She turns around and knocks down a 15-footer. And Madison Rubino with her first 2 points of the game. We've seen different players for SPU have games throughout this season where they were, just different players were playing really well. Madison Rubino was really impressive in the first home game here against Cal State San Marcos, but she's been limited by injury. This one in the paint for Oster. She turns around, and it's a shot clock violation as she did not draw iron and did not draw a foul either. A little bit of contact there, but no whistle. And the Falcons will take it back, down 15. 30.5 left on the clock here in the third quarter. And the Falcons will see if they can get a bucket here going into the fourth quarter. They were down 13 as Smith knocks that one out of the hands of Kearns and then throws it off of her. Last touch by Kearns. Great play there by Keely Jade Smith, the graduate student out of Hilo, Hawaii. And the Saints will have the final possession, assuming they hold it for the remainder of the quarter. So the Falcons were trying to get back to within 12 or 13, but now the Saints. This time, though, Levine got a hand on it. Kearns throws it up from beyond half court and couldn't get it to go. But Levine forcing the turnover there. Saints will take a 15-point lead into the fourth quarter, though. 53-38 here from Royal Broome Pavilion. We'll be back in just a moment on the SPU webcast.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Back inside Royal Broome Pavilion, Greg Sexton with you on the SPU webcast. Falcons are down by 15 heading into the fourth quarter here. As Rios will inbound to Jada Travis. And the Saints try to add to that 15-point lead. They've led by as many as 20. Eternity Reed will get it to Brown over the top for Reed. And the Falcons playing good defense on Reed, but she's able to get it back out to Rios. And timeout called from the bench by Natalie Marlowe. And so Marlowe not liking the way that possession was going. She takes the timeout. And this will be a full timeout. So we'll go ahead and take a break here. 9:41 to go in the fourth quarter. And the Saints leading the Falcons by 15. Back inside Royal Broome Pavilion, Greg Sexton with you on the SPU webcast. Interesting start to the fourth quarter here as the Saints called a timeout in the middle of their first possession, and it was a full timeout. So we'll get things going here as the Saints have 11 on the shot clock. Saints were 4 out of 4 from beyond the arc in that third quarter, as they were just 2 out of 6 at halftime, but now 6 out of 10 for the game. And again, they lead by 15. Here is Smith forcing up a three, and that one off the mark, but the rebound comes down to Rios. Kiana Rios puts it back up and in, and the Saints lead it by 17. Natalie Marlowe, second-year head coach, looking to pick up a win here at Royal Brougham. Saints were 3-0 here at Royal Brougham Pavilion in the calendar year of 2024 as they beat the Falcons here last season, and then they won 2 games here right after Thanksgiving against a couple of teams from Colorado as Travis is long on the 3 there, and the Falcons with the rebound. Natalie Marlowe, success early on here as Rubino gets the rebound there and gets it to Buren for the bucket as the Falcons get an offensive board there, and they get back within 15. Natalie Marlowe played at Chicago State, and I think they came into the WAC. They're not in the WAC anymore, but they came into the WAC, and they were in the WAC for a few years with Seattle University, about 5 miles away from here. Rios forced one up there, couldn't get it to go. Didn't draw the foul either. Here come the Falcons the other way. Buren, coast to coast, lays it up and in. As Hunter Buren now with 8 points in the ball game. And the Falcons are within 13 with just under 8 minutes to play. But Chicago State had some battles with Seattle University in the WAC. The Seattle University Redhawks still in the WAC this year. They will be in the West Coast Conference next year. A couple of subs in for each team as Hatchett and Lamette come in for the Saints, and Leisure and Turley come in for the Falcons with 7:43 to play. And the pass in, and Rubino with the block shot on Rios. And the Falcons back the other way. Here's Turley trying to get out of backcourt. And she will get it across. Still being guarded heavily, or tightly, I should say, by Kiana Rios. But the Falcons will set up a possession here as Buren will get it in the post for Rubino. And she turns around, puts it in off the glass. Rubino with a good move in the post. The Falcons are within 11. This one not quite over yet. And it's still over 7 minutes to play. And it's a 55-44 ball game here. Jada Travis will get it to Madeline Brown. Comes to the top to Maya Hatchett. And now in the post, Lamette with a turnaround over Rubino, and she misses. And that is a missed lay-in by Leisure as Buren saw her streaking down the floor, and Leisure was not able to get the layup to go down. That has really been the kind of night it's been for the Falcons, as they just have not been able to hit enough of their shots. Levine will come back in for Leisure, and Avery Oster will come in as Kiana Rios will take a breather. And the Falcons with a missed opportunity there to get it back down to single digits. Here's Travis. Gets it to Oster, lines up a 3, and that one's off the front iron. Travis chases down the rebound and keeps it in bounds and saves it in to her teammate Hatchett. Maya Hatchett will get it to Lamette. Rubino on defense on her. 8 on the shot clock as Hatchett drives through the key. Kicks it in the corner for Oster, and that one is off the mark. And Brown with the rebound, and the Saints with the shot clock reset to 20. Another possession. Travis gets a screen from Oster. And now over the top for Oster, but 3 Falcons converge, and Grace Turley ends up with it. And Turley will kick it back out to Buren. Falcons again trying to get within single digits. Here's Rubino. Gets to the bucket, and they're going to say that she double dribbled. And another turnover for SPU. As Falcons just have turned it over too many times. Really, both teams have turned it over quite a bit in this game. Falcons, though, not been able to hit their shots consistently here. And the Saints have had some good runs. Lamette, misses. And another offensive board for St. Martin's, as they'll set up another possession. Here's Hatchett with 10 on the shot clock. And Hatchett gets to the bucket, and that one a little too strong, but Lamette with another offensive rebound. And we'll get a whistle with 5:02 to play, as Leisure and Ota will come back for Kearns and Rubino. Foul goes on Grace Turley. Booster and Rios in for St. Martin's. And the pass comes right into Rios, and she does not hesitate. She puts it up and in. And Kiana Rios now with 13 points in the ball. Make it 15. I'm sorry, she already had 13. Here is Buren, and she gets tripped up going to the bucket. And she will get to the free throw line. Falcons down 13. Foul called on Madeline Brown. That is her second. That's going to take us to our final media timeout. 4:49 to play in the ball game, and the Saints lead it by 13, trying to finish this one here at Royal Brougham. We'll be back in just a moment.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's will you?
Back inside Royal Brougham Pavilion, 4:49 to play in the ball game. Saints lead by 13. Both teams have turned the ball over 15 times, and it's been the Saints, though, shooting 46% from the floor. The Falcons just 35%. Hunter Buren to the free throw line. And Buren on the season a 68% free throw shooter. Knocks in the first one. Falcons have been to the line a few more times than the Saints have. The Saints have only been to the line once in the ball game. And the Falcons now, with Buren knocking down 2 free throws, they get back within 11. Hunter Buren with 10 points in the ball game. And now the Falcons are 9 out of 12 from the free throw line. Saints 1 out of 1 for the ball game. As Lamette finds Madeline Brown, and she will get it to Rios, and Rios with the jumper from the baseline, putting it in. Kiana Rios with 17 points in the ballgame. Saints lead by 13. And time ticking down here on the Falcons. They need a quick run. Here is Grace Turley taking a 3, and she puts it in. Falcons with just their 4th made 3 of the night. And the Falcons are back within 10 at 59-49. 4 minutes to play. Not out of the realm of possibility. But the Falcons got to come up with some stops. There is Booster with the floater, and she draws the foul. And she'll get to the free throw line as Turley commits the foul. Lola Weatherspoon back in for SPU, and Avery Oster back in for SMU. And Casey Booster to the free throw line. She's got 6 points in the ball game, a couple of threes in the third quarter. And she knocks in a free throw here to make it an 11-point game. Booster will get another free throw. And that one is good as well. So Casey Booster knocks down 2 free throws, and that is potentially going to be a determining factor here, is if the Saints can knock down their free throws. As Weatherspoon turns around and rims that one in. As, again, a 10-point lead. Booster was just 1 out of 2 on the season from the free throw line coming into the game. Now 3 out of 4, as Lamette will come back in for Madeline Brown. 10-point lead for the Saints, 3:26 to play. And Rios will inbound it. And she will get it in to Jada Travis. Travis was certainly the most effective player on the floor in the first quarter, and she picks up an assist there. A nice dish to Sarah Lamette, and she lays it up and in. And it's a 12-point game. Ota for Weatherspoon. Weatherspoon will step inside the arc, and she'll hook it up and in. Float it up and in, I should say. And Lola Weatherspoon now 9 points in the ball game, and the Falcons down 10, but now under 3 minutes to play in the game. They have not been able to really get within arm's length. They come up with another rebound here, though. And Buren going coast to coast and misses the shot. And it's been that kind of night for SPU. Rios the rebound, and she will hand off to Jada Travis, who will walk it up the floor with now under 2:30 to play. Travis bumps into her teammate, Oster, but maintains possession. Here's Oster with 10 on the shot clock. To Kiana Rios, looking for a screen. And Oster saying, just take it yourself. And the Falcons come up with another turnover. It's going to be a shot clock violation, as the shot clock ran out there. The Falcons were, and Grace Turley was in the process of taking it away. Lane Kearns back onto the floor for SPU. 10-point game with just over 2 minutes to play. Kearns taking a quick 3, and that one off the iron. No good. Rebound to Rios. And here come the Saints. Oster will get it to Travis. And now Lamette with it, being guarded by Kearns. A little bit of a height mismatch there. But Kearns is able to force Lamette into a missed shot, and Kearns is able to get the rebound. Here's Ota taking a quick 3, and that one off the back iron, no good. And the rebound to Rios again. 1:30 to play. And the Saints trying to put this one in the freezer. As Rios will get to the free throw line. Lane Kearns commits the foul. Maya Hatchett will come back in for Sarah Lamette. And Kiana Rios with 17 points in this ball game. Junior out of Warden, Washington. Small town out near Moses Lake, a little east of Moses Lake. And Rios knocks down the first free throw. She'll get one more here. Kiana Rios, an 88% free throw shooter. And knocks down 2 here. St. Martin's really hadn't shot very many free throws at all in this game. But they've been able to knock down their free throws here late in the fourth quarter. And it's a 12-point lead with 1:15 to go. We're going to get an offensive foul called here on Lane Kearns as she pushed off, trying to go to the bucket. And the Saints will get it back up 12. And Kearns with her 4th foul there. Kearns picked up 2 quick ones. Not that quick, but she picked up 2 in the first quarter. And didn't play a ton in the first half. Here's a nice pass from Brown to Rios. And Rios takes it to the bucket, and she goes for 21 now in the ball game. And the Saints are going to go back to Lacey with a win. They actually will head out to Billings on Saturday, but Lacey being just an hour away, I would assume. They will head out to Billings tomorrow after going home tonight. Weatherspoon will get to the free throw line as the foul called on Avery Oster, just her second. And the Saints up by 14 with under a minute to play. And they are going to get their second conference win to go to 2-3 on the season as Weatherspoon rims in the free throw. SPU going to drop to 0-4 in conference play. And they will have Western Oregon in here on Saturday afternoon. That will be a 4:15 tip-off as timeout called by Natalie Marlowe after Lola Weatherspoon puts in 2 free throws. It's a 12-point lead for the Saints, but Marlowe wanting to get in another timeout and talk with her team about how she wants this last 44 seconds to play out. 67-55. Falcons going to drop to 6-11 overall on the season, but 0-4 in the GNAC, which really, once we get into the GNAC schedule, that's what we're kind of keeping an eye on. Overall records are pretty much out the window unless somebody goes has a great record and doesn't win their conference tournament. Then they would be getting into the NCAA tournament as an at-large. Falcons are not going to be in there as an at-large. They're going to have to turn things around here. We're still early in January, just the second game of the year for the Falcons here in the month of January. But it doesn't get any easier. They will have Western Oregon, but then they got to go to Central Washington and Northwest Nazarene next week. St. Martin's will be at Billings, so that's going to be a tough one for them. But then they will host Western Oregon next Saturday, so they'll just play once next Saturday. Once next week, I should say, on Saturday. As Travis will get it to Oster. Falcons trying to take it away. They commit the foul. And the foul called on Haley Ota with 36.4 left on the clock. And Casey Booster, the freshman out of Bend, Oregon, will come back in for Avery Oster. And Kiana Rios piling up some points here in the second half. She only had 6 in the first half. And knocks down another free throw. As Rios now 3 out of 3 at the line, 22 points, 8 rebounds, and now make it 23 points. And Jalen Rios is going to get into the game, the younger sister of Kiana. And so Jalen Rios, a sophomore out of Warden, will come in for the final less than a minute here. 14-point lead for the Saints. Hunter Beeren over in the corner for Grace Turley, and that one is off the rim. And the rebound to Booster. Falcons still playing defense. And another timeout called by Natalie Marlowe with 18.4 left on the clock. She's got them. She might as well use them. But interesting, really a few interesting uses of timeouts here. There was one called a minute ago. This one with a 14-point lead and 18 seconds to play in the game, and she just didn't want her team to turn it over again. But she called one 20 seconds into the fourth quarter, and it was a full timeout. But you got them, you might as well use them. So she will kind of reset the Saints here. Kiana Rios will inbound with 18.4 left. And got to give it to the Falcons for continuing to play hard on defense. As a little bit of they commit a foul. That's going to be on Turley. Something that you see different in the women's game versus the men's game. If this was a men's game and it's a 14-point game and there's less than a minute to play, they would just be dribbling out the clock. But in the women's game, they're still playing hard. As Maya Hatchett knocks down the first free throw, and that's her first point of the ball game tonight. As Hatchett has seen some time off the bench, but didn't get on the scoreboard until those two free throws there. Hatchett has played 16 minutes tonight, and it is 71-55. Here's Grace Turley, a three from the corner. She knocks that one down, and it's 71-58. Should be the final, as Smith will pull away from Kearns and dribble out the clock. And the Saints take a win back to Lacey. They've won their last four here in Royal Brown Pavilion, two against the Falcons. They defeated both Colorado Christian and Metro State right after Thanksgiving here inside Royal Brown Pavilion as well. But they've won their last two times here against SPU last season and this season. And they get this one done by 13, 71-58. Not a real cleanly played ball game on either side. Both teams turned it over multiple times, but the Saints really hit their shots. They had some good runs in this one, and they are able to pull away. Really, they had a 13-point lead at halftime, and the Falcons were never really able to get it that close in the second half. And the Falcons go down 71-58. They go to 0-4 in the GNAC. Saints go to 2-3. Saints shoot 47% for the ball game. The Falcons shoot 38%. And the Saints were 6 out of 14 from beyond the arc. Falcons were 5 out of 19. Saints go 9 out of 9 at the free throw line, 8 of those in the fourth quarter within the final minutes of the game, and the Falcons go 11 out of 14 at the stripe. Saints out-rebound the Falcons 34-28, and both teams turned it over 16 times, so it wasn't like one team was really getting it done on defense more than the other. Both teams played pretty well defensively in this game, and forced some turnovers, each team committing 16 turnovers, but the Saints able, though, to win this one by double digits. As we take a look at the final stats individually, Kiana Rios, 23 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, and she went 4 out of 4 at the free throw line. Down the stretch, she went 9 out of 17 from the floor overall in the ballgame. 1 out of 3 from beyond the arc. Jada Travis had a great first half and picked up some more rebounds and assists in the second half. I don't think she had 10 points at halftime. She finishes with 10 points. But she picks up 5 rebounds and 6 assists. And again, probably is going to be seriously considered for GNAC Freshman of the Year. Again, not having seen a lot of other players from the GNAC schools yet. Avery Oster goes for 10 points and 6 rebounds. And Keely Jade Smith off the bench, 9 points. And she just played 17 minutes, had a solid game. Oster was 5 out of 12 from the floor. Smith was 4 out of 9. And Casey Booster hit a couple of threes in the third quarter, ends up with 8 points and 3 rebounds. As the Saints there with some contributions from a few players in their lineup. Falcons get 11 apiece from Grace Leisure and Lola Weatherspoon, and they get 10 from Hunter Buren. Buren with 5 rebounds 7 assists for Hunter Buren as well. But nobody really got it going consistently. As I think the camera is off. I think you can still hear me, but we're going to go ahead and sign off here shortly. As Falcons, as I mentioned, again, 11 from Weatherspoon, 11 from Leisure, 10 from Buren, and nobody else with more than 6. Ota had 6, and Turley had 6 as well for SPU, but just not enough good runs for the Falcons. They hit some shots here and there, but really missed a lot of shots, turned the ball over too many times tonight, and they fall to the St. Martin Saints by a final count of 71-58. We got men's basketball coming up at 7:30, a little more than half an hour from now, as the Western Washington Vikings on the floor. And you can't see them because the camera's off, but you will see them if you come back at about 7:30. That'll be the tip time. The men's basketball team from SPU taking on the Western Washington Vikings. And St. Martin's gets it done in the women's game over the Falcons by, again, the final count, 71-58. If you are not sticking around for the men's game, we will talk to you on Saturday as the Falcons will host Western Oregon. That'll be a 4:15 tip. And we'll talk to you then.